One, two, three. One, welcome everybody to Mom and Dad Talks, where our favorite two people are Mom and Dad, and Mom and Dad are having, again, technical difficulties, but this one's more bizarre than we've ever thought. Hopefully they get their problem fixed. Sound. They're not going deaf, but they're figuring it out. Anyway, we got our favorite person, Hantie. Hi, Hantie. Yay! And today, subject, Clarence Thomas. It's a Supreme Court justice is under renewed scrutiny after the Washington Post found that an activist with interest in the court's decisions funneled tens of thousands of dollars to Thomas's wife with instructions not to mention her name. The report published on Thursday outlined instances in which the activist Leonard Leo paid Clarence Thomas's wife Jeannie via the GOP pollster Kellyanne Conway, citing documents it had obtained. I'm not going to go any further in this. It just seems like it gets from bad from worse. Hantie, what are your thoughts on this Clarence Thomas situation?
Well, I followed him years ago, or I followed the scenario years ago with Anita Hill, and I bought into her. My heart, soul, body, okay? And because I believed her,
mm-hmm.
and then it turned around that he was still appointed. And I thought, y'all can't, you don't know don't you feel when someone is being honest?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to come forth and say all those things that she had been harboring,
mm-hmm.
That took a lot. That's a big one there.
Yeah,
and at that
mm-hmm.
that time, in my heart, I said, the man needs to clean up. And you fast forward to 2023. And he still hasn't cleaned up. That's the way I feel about it.
And the thing about it is, I guess we were looking here online here that, you just pay $220,000 Supreme Court justice. Maybe that's not enough money, I guess, to live off of income. And then, just the fact that you probably get, I guess it's $268,000 in 2021. Anyway, that's the base. I'm just reading online here right now, but the fact of it is that it just looks bad. It just really, really looks bad. Especially when you're in the political machine. It's almost like if I pay enough money, I can influence your vote. And it's looking bad. But we had warning signs, a lot of warning signs, but I think with certain people, if you're part of a political system, they automatically, just because you're going to think or be a certain way, it's okay, even if you live a different lifestyle. And that's a whole nother thing. They want to hold everybody else to a certain standard, but they don't want to hold the standard to themselves.
Right.
And these parties out there claiming self-righteousness and stuff like that. But folk, what about being American first? Why don't we just look out for this country, look out for citizens, for each other? I mean, I think with all of this polarization, nobody wants to do the right thing. And I think there's more of a problem of people not wanting to do the right thing all the time. I mean, none of us are perfect. We mess up, but at least make an attempt to try to do the right thing and be honest.
And I think you said a mouthful, a couple of mouthfuls of try to do the right thing. And another thing that I was thinking of while you were talking was, if you, and I hope I'm not judging, but if you don't believe in the Bible, honesty is not going to come first with you.
Right. True.
And I think that I hope that, Mom and Dad Talks exhibits that. I mean, that's the forefront of this, that we have a spirituality, and we believe in the Bible, and we hope that there's a song, "Give Me a Clean Heart," that goes so far. It's a simple song, but it goes so far. If you can sing that song, I believe that things will work in your favor. But you have to recognize when there's dirt.
And let's just be realistic. You point the nail on the head. If you have a true biblical, a lot of people try to say, "I know the Bible." It's more than knowing, folks. You got to live it.
Live it.
Right? You got to exude it, right? And a lot of people want to talk about it when it's convenient. And the Bible's not about talking about when it's convenient. Can you be that way all the time when it's inconvenient? In season and out of season. Whether someone believes, and if you do mess up, recognize it, because Christ is faithful just to forgive and cleanse. That's the beautiful thing about the Bible. God knows you're going to mess up, but if you just confess, acknowledge that you did wrong, He is faithful and just to cleanse and forgive. But if you can't even confess that you did something wrong, how can God clean you up?
How?
And you're right, Hantie. That's what Mom and Dad talk. We take everyday subjects because a lot of subjects, when you take it on the news and schools, they take God out. We put God in these discussions. They say there is a moral high ground that you have to live in, a standard that we should all try to attain.
Right.
And that's what I love about
every day.
Yeah. And that's what we talked about. People, if you don't know Mom and Dad Talk, this is what we talk about when I was growing up. The moral dilemma, what is morally right, not about what's conveniently right. And Hantie, you raised me, and I have these conversations with Mom and Dad, because you're my mom too, and we talk about this. And folks, I hope that you talk about moral behavior, because that's what's lacking in today's society.
Correct.
Wind blows, whatever you feel like doing. If it feels right, do it. No, there's a higher standard that God has, folks, that He says this is why you do it. And it's a deeper reason, because it's always going to be better. So I don't care what the world says. I don't care if everybody's doing it. The Bible's right, folks.
That's right.
It's been right for thousands and thousands of years, folks.
That's right.
It's never been wrong. And if we adhere to it, we have a better life, and more fulfilled life, if we adhere to those ways. And the more we get away from it as society and as a world, the worse it gets.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I guess we're preaching today. But for our listeners today.
Well, yeah. I mean, because to me, this topic is a higher up.
Yeah.
That we as the little folk who believe in the Bible can't do anything. We can't clean that up. I mean, we can pray about it, that the Lord will cleanse our hearts so that we can see the wrong and not let that tempt us. Are we tempted by money that we just let anything go?
Hey, that's what comes down to, the love of money.
Yeah. And what is it? What's the Bible say? The
love of money is the root to all evil.
There you go.
People God, there's nothing, this is an inanimate object. Money in itself, however, it's the love of it. And people love it. They'll do anything for it. And when you're willing to do anything for it, what's your price? See, that's what the devil wants to know. What is your price that I can make you fall down and not worship God? Folks. And if you love money, trust me, you don't love God. And you'll do anything and do anything to anybody with no morals involved. What's your price today, people? We're gonna leave it there. What is your price today?
What is your price today?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
What is your price to get rid of your morality? Is there a cost to it? And folks, everybody's got to answer that question. What is your price? If you're going to just do the right thing no matter what, there's no price you can pay me. That's a real Christian right there.
There you go.
All right, well, we're going to let you go today. Hope that's on your mind, folks. And Hantie, thank you for being on here. And let's hope whatever is going on with Mom and Dad's system gets worked out.
I hope so.
So I hope next time on Mom and Dad Talk. Thank you all.